Thank you for joining Money Simplified, your guide to money and mutual funds, presented by Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund. We appreciate your participation. At Personal FN, we are committed to help investors achieve their financial goals and objectives. Our core proposition is built around unbiased research and financial planning. We wish to thank Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund for partnering with us in this investor education and awareness initiative. Welcome to this special series on life goals brought to you by Money Simplified, your guide to money and mutual funds. We are glad to have you with us for our third session of Child's Future Planning series, and that is how to plan for your child's education. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest, said Benjamin Franklin. As parents, it is natural to want the best for your child, the best schooling, the best peer group, and the best opportunities in life. It is equally important to ingrain the importance of education, although the next gen is smart enough, have an inquisitive acumen, and are fast learners. Also, the spirit of competitiveness and the vigor to achieve the pinnacle of success, whether in studies or in workplace, is very high among today's children. But all this needs to be empowered with enough savings and investing if you wish to see their and your dreams come true. Today, as you may know, cost of education has shot up. Schools and colleges are levying high fees to impart any kind of knowledge. Besides, ancillary expenses such as tuition fees, stationery, uniforms, sports, etc. have also gone up. Thus, planning for your child's education needs has become extremely important. In this session, we'll introduce you to a sensible approach that can brighten your child's future. Here's a 7-step approach to plan your child's education. Number 1. Estimate the cost of education prudently. When you do so, distinguish between domestic or local education and global education, and whether the funds will be needed for an undergraduate course or a postgraduate course. This will help you estimate the amount accurately, but make sure you account for inflation as it erodes the purchasing power of your hard-earned money. Conservatively, you can estimate around 8 to 10% inflation on education. Then the second is expect the unexpected, meaning don't forget to rule out payments for other things apart from the school fees such as coaching classes, entrance exams, payment towards educational excursions, etc. And if your child plans to pursue education abroad or another city or state, traveling cost, hostel and accommodation cost, food, insurance, etc. has to be accounted. You see, all these things add up to the cost of education. To get a better sense of the potential expenditure, speak to the parents of alumni or alumni themselves and find out what the total cash outflow could be during the duration of the course. Number 3 is assess your existing assets. This will help you know where you stand today and plan accordingly. But if you have assigned assets to meet your other goals, avoid using them for your child's education, as that will derail all your other financial goals. Number 4 is invest smartly to build the corpus. Once you've taken account of your existing assets that can be mapped towards your child's education, you need to deploy your money smartly based on your investment horizon. Plus, save and invest regularly so that you don't have to take loans, which can prove to be costly proposition in the long run. Pay attention to your household budget, personal expenses, lifestyle expenses, cut the unnecessary expenses, and/or find an additional source of income. For an investment time horizon of greater than 5 years, clearly park the money in equity mutual funds as they have the potential to provide higher returns over the long run. Number 5 is focus on asset allocation. As you invest and build wealth, keep a watch on your asset allocation and make sure it's just perfect to help you accomplish your child's education goal. For a long time horizon, higher equity allocation may prove worthwhile. But as you near your goal, you may rebalance your investment portfolio gradually to avoid fixed income or debt. A well-planned asset allocation can not only scale up your portfolio returns exponentially, but also act as a shield to protect its value during the uncertain economic conditions and market volatility. Number 6 is, as parents, ensure that you're adequately insured. The demise of the breadwinner of the family can cause a big setback to a child's education. Therefore, as parents, you ought to ensure that you're adequately insured while indemnifying risk to life based on a scientific approach called human life value. Insure yourself optimally, whereby at least the tuition fees of your child will be met. Pure term life insurance plans may be considered to indemnify risk to life for the cost to benefit they offer. Don't commingle insurance and investments, keep them separate. Likewise, optimally insure for health, as not having an adequate Mediclaim cover or not having one altogether can potentially derail your financial goals if medical emergencies arise. Number 7 is get started right away. The surefire killer to your financial goal is delay. While planning for your child's needs, it always pays to start early. This is because if you start saving and investing early, it will give you a longer time horizon to meet your financial goals, such as child's education, and even build a bigger corpus enabled by the power of compounding. Here's a case study of Mr. and Mrs. Rajan. Mr. and Mrs. Rajan wanted to secure the future of their son Kunal by providing him the best education. Here are their personal details. Rajan, 35, a salaried individual, earns Rs 40,000 per month, while his wife, 30, also a salaried person, earns Rs 30,000 a month. So together their monthly income is 70,000. Their monthly expenses, on the other hand, are 45,000, leaving them with a surplus of Rs 25,000 each month. Their assets were, as you can see on the screen here. Their residential flat comprised more than 50% of the total assets, and since it is self-occupied, cannot be used for planning purpose. There is a small amount of investment in equities. They also had their individual EPF and PPF and cash in bank accounts. The cash in bank was mainly kept for contingency purpose. The physical gold was mostly in the form of jewelry of Mrs. Rajan. And fortunately, Mr. and Mrs. Rajan do not have any liabilities. Here are their financial goals. Number 1 is Kunal's graduation. They want to fund Kunal's graduation in one of the premier institutes in India when he takes admission at the age of 18 years. The cost in present times is Rs 8 lakhs. Then the second is Kunal's post-graduation. This goal is after 19 years when Kunal's age is 22. The current cost to pursue this goal is around 20 lakh. But assuming inflation rate at 10% per annum, the future cost of graduation and post-graduation will mount to around 33.42 lakh and Rs 1.22 crore respectively. What Mr. and Mrs. Rajan need to do? To accomplish the financial goal, they need to invest Rs 20,597 per month in SIPs or systematic investment plans of equity mutual funds, assuming they earn a compounding rate of return of 12% per annum. This still leaves them with a surplus of Rs 4,403. Finally, before we wrap up today's learning session, here are some points to remember. Educating your child well is one of the most important duties. Don't forget that education is imperative to secure your child's future. But follow a sensible approach to fulfill your responsibilities towards child's education. Don't follow the herd because each one's financial health, circumstances, goals are different. Start planning for your child's future needs early. A longer investment horizon can facilitate better power of compounding. Factor inflation in education slightly on the conservative side because cost of education both in India and abroad is on a rise. Think through the financial goals and prioritize, or many of the other financial goals may not be achieved. Don't divert any investments already assigned for a particular goal towards education. And last but not the least, endeavor to save more so that it leaves you with a greater investable surplus to accomplish many of the vital financial goals of life. So to end our learning exercise today, we now invite you to test your learning by taking this simple quiz and win exciting prizes. Thank you for participating. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.